All right, business birthday.
Everyone does celebrity birthday greetings, but the Focus Group is the only show in the universe that celebrates business birthdays.
You know, Johnny, you can get rich on the little things.
On the tiny thing. You could get
tiny things.
Tim, get
Tiniest things. Little things like a mouse trap.
Feed the mouse.
Feed the mice. They might grow up to be rats. Celebrating. He's not celebrating. He's dead. He died in 1906, but he was born today, August 22nd, in 1827. Ezra Butler Eddy. He's listed as a Canadian businessman and political figure, but he really was born in the United States, and his lineage goes back to Miles Standish and lots of the old Puritan stock in New England up in Vermont. And Ezra Butler Eddy was not interested in really going to school or anything, so he went to New York City when he was 15 and worked for a merchant for like $3 a week and learned the business of selling eggs and cheese and that sort of thing. Didn't like New York City that much, wanted to go back to the rural confines of Vermont. Went back up there and began manufacturing wooden matches. Of all things.
The kind that we all know and love, right? The wooden match, a little red tip, whatever, right?
And so in 1854, he was making matches in his kitchen. He moved to Canada to make them. I don't know why he moved to Canada, but he went up to Quebec when he was only 24. He began producing the matches using discarded wood from the nearby sawmills. He and his first wife made them in their house. The business grew rapidly. He grew to become one of the largest match manufacturers in the world, the Eddy matches. Of course, I laugh about this. His empire was worth, at that time, over a couple $1 million, but it was destroyed by fire.
When you were researching this, you cannot make that up. Okay.
So the whole business burned down. Whole business was consumed by fire. He ended up with a net loss of $250,000, but he rebuilt. He had the help of some insurance companies. He rebuilt the enterprise, and by 1886, he had reorganized into the E.B. Eddy Company and also started doing timber rights and made a bunch of other things out of wood stock, like pails and buckets and so forth and so on. And he ran for political office and became mayor of Hull. But then again, in 1900, there was another fire. Lost everything. Burned down again.
Started by an Eddy safety match, no doubt, right?
So the fire, he lost $3 million in this fire. He said in spite of the fires, or they said in spite of the fires repeatedly ravaged, the fire repeatedly ravaged his factories and his house. But they said he persevered, and being an astute industrialist, he rebuilt again. Wiped out twice by fire.
Is there a third
match
wipeout?
Company. Well, he ends up dying in 1906, and they sent the body back to Vermont. And he was buried there, and there's a plaque. But they said the Eddy Match Company is still today one of the most major match manufacturers around. And one of the second slides here, now they're known to do a lot of these things. When you go to restaurants, see those little match.
Yeah, I still love.
I love those.
I love when restaurants give out those little match things, the vanity match.
So it's still based in Canada, still one of the largest match manufacturers in the world. But I thought to myself, matches.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you got to be careful not to burn the place down twice. But
did you ever play with fire as a kid?
Happy birthday, Ezra. No.
I got caught playing with...
you weren't allowed to do all that.
I had a Revell model of the Hindenburg. We glued it together, poured gasoline on it, and I wanted to recreate the burning of the Hindenburg, and I hung it from a string, lit it on fire. The thing, whoosh, and then it melted and expanded, and my mom catches wind of this. Dad gets home, and she's like, John's playing with fire. You want to play with fire? You want to play with fire? So they gave me this Maxwell House coffee can, an empty can, and I had to sit with a big box of wooden matches and strike every match into the can until the entire box of matches was gone. I was so bored. By the end of it, my dad's like, yeah, are you done playing with fire? I'm like, I'm done playing with fire. But I was actually burning the Hindenburg, which is different than playing with fire, right? Another story. The red light in the...
That sounds to me like something that you would do. I don't want to hear stories about your father again, because I could see you doing it. You want to play with fire? Here's a box of matches.
Gav, have at it.
So you did it?
I sat with the can for a while.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, no. I was... my father was first confused. Like, what were you doing? I said, we had a Super 8
Hindenburg.
I had a Super 8 movie camera, the kind you wound up.
I think it's
I said, I wanted to recreate the burning of the Hindenburg. Okay, but your mom said you were playing with fire. I said, well, the Hindenburg burned. See how your logic lines up with mine,
Next, we're
right?
going to do Pompeii. Watch out for the house.
Volcano goes off.